What is up everyone, my name's Al from GamesRib, and today we're going to be checking out another Shindogu Bleem. That's right, this time it is CT Special Forces. Now this game to me reminds me very much of the Metal Slug game, so if you love the Metal Slug games you're probably going to love this. So let's see how it bleems. So this is it guys, this is CT Special Forces Bleemed by Shindogu for the Sega Dreamcast. Now obviously Shindogu's been pretty much constantly banging out the Bleems, as well as, to be fair, Ian Michael is also doing very similar work to basically uncover a lot of stuff that we've never even seen Bleeming before. So, you know, at the end of the day, the Dreamcast community is pretty much spoiled at the moment. So, as you can see, menus look absolutely fantastic. Now, straight off the bat, you're probably going to say, well, this looks like a bit of a budget game. Well, you'd probably be right. I mean, the developers LSP Games, aka Light and Shadow Productions, aka developers I can't say I've ever come across to this day. Yeah, that's right, done by them. I would 100% say this does feel like or it may have been heavily inspired by Metal Slug, but we will see that shortly. Now there is cooperative mode and single player mission here. I don't know if cooperative mode actually works, but single player mission definitely does. So let's crack on with it. So each mission basically starts as you're seeing right now, and basically a really long-winded sort of, you know, where it's basically scrolling text down the screen. It does this with every single mission, and oh my god, does it drag on. This I have to say makes it feel a little bit, it does make it feel a little bit cheap, but you know, it is essentially meant to be telling a story. But you know, there's no music here, so why is there no music at this point? This is PlayStation 1 era, remember, so why was there no music here? You can even see the text scrolls over the top of other text here, and it does exactly the same here, and is basically copying, as you can see, Metal Gear Solid. But hey, I haven't come here to bash this at the end of the day. I've kind of come here just to take a look at how it bleems, and I gotta be honest, it doesn't look too bad. Now, I'm wondering if it was meant to have some music at that point, because to me it just feels a bit bare bones, if that makes sense. The other thing is you get these kind of little hiccups in between loading. It kind of go grey and, you know, it just doesn't seem right. But it feels like there should be music here, right? It feels like you should have a bit of this. Now, am I right or am I wrong? That would have just felt so much more correct. And then you wouldn't have denied that it very much feels like a Metal Slug clone. Now this is a run and gun shooter, you know, it's making no bones about that. It is a run and gun shooter, and there are actually 3 of these Special Forces games, and you know, to be fair, they do cover on, I think they even cover onto the Game Boy Advance, so you know, it had a little bit of success, so much so 3 of them were created. But I can kind of see why, because let's face it, most people kind of wanted a budget, you know, Metal Slug game, because they thought, oh yeah, okay, so there's no Metal Slug coming out at the moment, but hey, let's fill the gap, let's fill the market where there wasn't actually that many run and gun games coming out at the time. And no one can really, you know, sneer at them for that, because let's face it, Metal Slug is a massive franchise that most people know and absolutely adore, and you know, anyone who tries to kind of fill that gap in the market when there isn't another one out, you know, more to them. And they really did. Like I said, they done 3 in the end, so let's face it, they obviously didn't do too badly. Now the main issue here, as you're probably going to see, is the graphical glitches. Now it's not unplayable from what you can see here, right? It's kind of just got lines absolutely everywhere, but it doesn't wreck the gameplay, if that makes sense. It's just kind of the background and kind of all over the place, but you can still see the main sort of foreground and the main sort of scenery. It's all there, and you know, it's not really that bad. The other thing is, yeah, okay, the character design is exactly the same. Around it, there's kind of these little things that look like parts of his body just floating around him. But again, Well, look at the explosions right there. That, to me, looks really, really cool. And that actually bleamed across perfectly. Like I said, I think the main thing we're missing here, though, is the music. It would have made sense to have music here, even if it didn't. I'm pretty sure it did, though, if I know correctly. But, you know, hey, it is what it is, and it's bleeming very damn well. Now, this is the other big issue, is there is some real slowdown here. It's when there's a lot of action going on the screen, the game kind of goes right down to, basically a snail's pace. It is still playable, but let's face it, it's kind of unforgivably slow. So let's face it, maybe you would not want to play this at that point. You know, unless, you know, when you get past these more heavier areas where there's a lot of gunfire, etc., it does speed right up. So, you know, really all we're doing here is just seeing how this plays. Like I said, a lot of Bleems aren't really playable. This, it's kind of borderline. It really depends if you just want to give it a go, just for the novelty, really, of seeing how this works and, you know, getting to know a game that is very similar to Metal Slug. So if you love Metal Slug, you might even want to check this out on the PlayStation 1 anyway. As you can see, like I said, it does speed back up. So, you know, there is that, and, you know, like I said, it is kind of playable if you can kind of see past that. But I'm really playing it because it looks like Metal Slug, plays like Metal Slug, and even kind of handles like Metal Slug. That's right, the game controls, they're very, very quick. You know, there's no real lag here apart from the actual gameplay lag. But yeah, it's nice, quick, it's responsive, and it feels right on the Sega Dreamcast controller. So, you know, I think if this one had a bit of work, if the Bleem was kind of really modified to a playable standard, then I think this would be a decent Bleem. Anyway, I hope you've liked this nice little look at CT Special Forces bleeming on the Sega Dreamcast. I'm going to leave you with some more footage of CT bleeming on the Dreamcast. Like, comment and subscribe. I'll see you all soon.
Go!
You can now support the channel on patreon.com/gamesrep, as well as remember to like, comment and subscribe.